You cannot win any battle or war without winning over the minds. Imperialists were ruling over our mind. They made us believe that we were their burden. We were considered to be white man's burden. Even today, many idiots pay heed to Rudyard Kipling. He was the first of many racists who promulgated the idea of white man's burden. And here modern day overeducated idiots taking pride in showing his works at their homes. Not joking, I'll show you a video I stumbled upon. There's a reason why I'm showing this video, because it will relate to the rest of the class.
And get them together, but also try to get things that are very, very close to our heart. So this right here you see is our first family picture with our daughter. It's our first Diwali. It was that time. The other side of it is this very lovely poem by this author called Rudyard Kipling. It's called If. It's very close to our heart.
There will be days when things will not be hunky-dory. I think it is accurate.
So Rudyard Kipling published The White Man's Burden in 1899. It is a fact, not my opinion. Do you know what was the burden that Kipling referred to? The burden Kipling referred to was that it's the duty of the white-colored skin people to civilize an uncivilized world. He exhorted that it was a duty of Western nations to colonize and civilize non-Westerners, non-white people around the world. He believed and said multiple times that British Empire was a force for good. It's bringing civilization to less developed part of the world. To conclude very clearly and categorically, Rudyard Kipling was a racist. I'm happy to debate on this with anyone. He's not someone who you should take pride in while taking inspiration from him, putting him next to your family portrait. Leading celebrities still celebrate such figures. Think about 18th and 19th century Indians in remotest part of India. For them, they should be down under low self-esteem. Even in that age, our early nationalists will create an economic critique. British will exploit us via trade, industry and finance. Dadabhai Nehruji clearly grasped the essence of British imperial rule. India was made a supplier of raw material, an importer of British manufactured goods. Listen to this very carefully. India was a supplier of raw material to the Britain, an importer of British manufactured goods. It's ludicrous. It is clear loot. It's like I'm buying all the vegetables from you. You now have no food left, and then selling you all the paneer tikka masalas and cooked food at thrice the price. But if I had those raw material, those vegetables with me on my own, I would have cooked better food on my own at 1/3 the cost. But British were different. The burden of the white man. They transformed India into a supplier of raw material and made India a market for British manufactured goods. This was their official economic policy, can you imagine? Just go back in time to 18th century India. India's share of world economy was 23%. Angus Madison reported this. By the time British departed India, it had dropped to just 3%. Why? What was the reason? The reason was simple. India was governed for the benefit of Britain. Britain's rise for 200 years was financed by its loot of India. White man's burden my foot. Dadabhai Nehruji declared as early as 1881 that the British rule, and I'm quoting him here, he said that British rule was an everlasting, increasing, and everyday increasing foreign invasion that was utterly, though gradually, destroying the country. India's traditional handicraft industries were ruined. India's modern industries never took off. And many idiots will still say that British invested in Indian railways. And to that, Dadabhai had a logical argument. He said that it was not out of love, but it was to strengthen the British hold on India's economy and polity. Why did British invest in railways? Was it out of love for India? British used railways to more efficiently transport raw materials like cotton, minerals from India's interior to the ports to export to Britain. It is like saying a thief built a road in front of my house so that that thief can bring his car on that road to my home, pick my stuff up, gold, money, FD, accessories, kill my family, and drive back home on the same road. We will not say that at least a thief created the road. But we see this happening. This is the height of slavery. British also created railways so that they could import British manufactured goods into India. And it had devastating effects on the local industries. British created railways to ensure quicker deployment of troops across vast territories of India. What did it do? It helped Britain maintain, control, and suppress all the uprisings. But the funny part is still not over. The funny part is that the creation of railways was financed by Indian money. Taxes from that Indians paid for railways network expansions. And much of the profit went back to the British companies and individuals. The terms of the railway contracts, if you were to look at those contracts, are often heavily in favor of the British companies. And it led to economic drain from India. Of course, we will use that same infrastructure and railways to fight back, but it is to be duly noted and remembered that the primary purpose of railways under British rule was to serve colonial interests, not the welfare of Indian population. Dadabhai Nehruji and his compatriots gave point-by-point economic analysis of India and explained all of this to Indian population. And it's remarkable at that age, against that empire. Not only this, they also gave a solution that we have to develop our own modern industries. They popularized and spoke about the idea of Swadeshi, or use of Indian goods. They gave a call to boycott Indian goods as a means of promoting the Indian industries. 1896, students in Pune and other towns of Maharashtra, they publicly burned foreign clothes in 1896 as a part of larger Swadeshi campaign. So India's draining of wealth by Britain was beautifully encapsulated by logical point-by-point analysis by these great leaders. They agitated for the reduction of land revenues. They agitated to improve the conditions of workers in plantation industries. They criticized the high military expenditure of government of India. Why should we pay for your wars across the globe? Grand old man of India, Dadabhai Nehruji, he famously said one thing, that it's a very romantic thought that there is security of life and property in India. But in reality, there is no such thing. He said that India's property is not secure. What is secure is Englishmen's prosperity. They are eating India, they are destroying India at a present rate of 3 million to 4 million sterling pounds a year. To millions of Indians, life is half feeding or starving. Just imagine someone saying this to mighty British Empire in that age. Even today, not many have the galls to say this to the ruling government in any part of the world, be it in Turkey or India or Indonesia. But back in the days, Dadabhai Nehruji had those calls. Now, thanks to Dadabhai Nehruji, R.C. Dutt, Gokhale, nationalist agitation on economic issues will then form the bedrock, the beginnings of Indian nationalism.